This is an open meeting of the Historical Commission, Berlin Historical Commission. It is about 10:15 or so, 10:17?
10:17.
10:17, and we are being recorded and subject to video recording also. And present are Ellie Bergen
Here.
and Barry Ager and myself, June Miller. And we have one other member who is not here, Lucy Ayers.
Lucy Ayers.
Lucy Ayers, yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with Lisa, who's going to talk to us about the town clock, the CPA proposal for the town clock.
Sure.
So this is the presentation that I gave to CPA. They were relatively positive about the project, up to and including potentially wanting to find out whether the chime could be rehabilitated at the same time. But I mean, you guys are gonna know most of this. I just did the brief history. The fact that there really hasn't been money put in that in a long time.
That's correct.
Um,
I don't know.
I was very excited to see that the scaffolding is going up.
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yep, went up this week.
It is it's a public civic resource, it's a historic landmark, it's a fundamental New England town thing, that the town owns, so, this is why I started pursuing it after we met with the church about, the town clock, the flag, and
Yeah.
the potential for easements. So, and there was about a week at that point to get a CPA application in, so I decided I was gonna go ahead and put that in. So there's pictures of the current condition. Barry, I know you had told me that middle clock went out like almost immediately after you said it.
It doesn't
It doesn't
keep
keep
time.
time.
It hasn't
So-
for quite a while.
Yeah, a clock that doesn't keep time isn't much
Yeah.
of a clock.
Yeah.
I got.
It's decorative.
Yes, I got quotes from a place called Electric Time that is one of the only places that does, it's the only place I think in Massachusetts that does that type of equipment.
Hard to
and
find somebody that can
rehabilitation.
do that, yeah.
And they gave us a quote for the equipment, and I also talked to a steeplejack who gave us a quote for the installation. There are two options. There's one that is just making the clock work. And then there's also, he gave us one for if we wanted to do the face repainting, which I found out after the fact. Barry, you had actually tried to get money for that, right? Went for ARPA funds. So I went ahead and pursued that when I found out that you had pursued that previously.
Well, I brought it to the select board when we had somebody painting the building as an option for them, and they didn't even want to discuss clock.
Yeah, I think it was hard, and I think even when I first heard, I'm like, why do we have something on a church? Because of separation of church and state. But then when I researched and that is
It's
very
old.
normal, it's very
Yeah.
normal in New England. So for me,
Not
as long
so
as there's
unusual.
precedent, as long as it's not a crazy Berlin thing,
Aberration.
which
It's nothing to
we
do with
have-
religion.
We have crazy Berlin things though, so,
Yeah.
I mean, the first impression I think was this is a crazy Berlin thing. But
No,
it's
no.
not, it's a New England thing because they were meeting houses and all of those
Yeah.
things. So because the town owns it and is responsible for it, we need to take care of it.
Yeah.
So both are CPA eligible because it is a rehabilitation.
Yep.
There was a time that there was a separate meter on the building for the clock
Yeah.
that the town paid, and the electric company determined in their mentality that it didn't have anything hooked to it, so they just took it out.
Yeah.
And that shut the clock off for some months until somebody decided to figure out what was wrong.
Yeah. I also put together an MOU for the church and
Yeah.
the town as to how that relationship can work, so it is formalized. We had passed, or maybe it went to, I think it was going to legal, and then it would come over to the church for them to look at, but one of the elements of that was to have the church continue paying the electric, cause it's minimal, and then have everything with upkeep with the clock.
Well, it's
belong
on,
to
it's
us.
on the church's electricity now, and it has been for,
Yeah.
just about 30 years.
And Stan said it's a very teeny
Hmm?
tiny, Stan said it's a very teeny tiny
Amount,
expense, so.
yeah.
So what won't change, the tower structure and framing, the dial layout and historic proportions, the general appearance and visibility from the street. What would change, it would keep time. The dials would be repainted and restore the faded numerals and minute marks to original black and gold contrast. I have a color picture, but they look really nice when they're done.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Well,
the
that's
clock-
gold leaf, that's gold leaf on
That's
the
gold
things.
leaf, yeah. That's standard. That's kind of,
Yes, it is.
I don't know, did we not
This
ever
one
have
has
it?
been, this one has been done that way multiple times before,
Okay.
but the last time or so that it was done, it wasn't. It was
Okay.
just painted.
So it would be putting it back to original probably to do it this way.
Oh, it has been gold leafed. It was gold leafed in the 60s, the 1960s, thereabouts.
Good. The clock hands would have to be replaced because these won't work with the insides. But they have one, I mean, even if you look at the one that's on here, it's almost identical to what's up
Yeah.
here. We could have custom, but there is a significant cost to that, and it doesn't seem like that's a good idea, cause you wouldn't even be able to tell from the street.
as long as it replicates the period of the rest of the facing, I would think that would be fine.
The clock company is Electric Time, like I said, this is what they do. They thought maybe the equipment up there might even be from their predecessor company, though you said it doesn't say Telecron on it.
No, nobody's touched it for a long time,
But,
mechanically.
the steeplejack that I talked to, he's a specialized restoration contractor. He has multiple,
Yeah.
projects that he has done like this. We couldn't, if we went with the restoration, we would have to do an RFQ and reach out to others, but, this is probably the guy that we want. And then we would use a local electrician to do the wiring. And then just, town clock is a civic timepiece, not a church fixture. There are CPA precedents in Belmont, Hingham, Newburyport, Boston, Old South Meeting House, where CPA funds have been used for this exact purpose, so I don't think there's any issue whatsoever with using CPA funds for that. I think, in fact, this is kind of what they were designed for. The new equipment you'd set it once, it would automatically maintain accurate time, it would adjust for daily savings time, it would keep all three faces synchronized.
How does it work?
That's what she's saying.
Hmm?
They
Go ahead.
basically hook it up and it runs itself. You don't have to do anything.
It's kind of like your car.
Yeah, I have more detail on that. I have to grab my
Does it have a
iPad.
battery pack or something that covers it when the power goes out?
It's electric wired, and I would assume it's got a battery backup, but I don't know if I have that information or not.
Talk slow, talk slow.
Option one is more than 10K.
Oh, but it's split, because you'd pay the electric time and you'd pay the steeplejack, and they were both under 10,
Okay,
so the vendors are split.
and that's okay.
That's
They
okay.
don't consider that split bidding?
No,
No.
because they're doing different purposes. So if we had one person coming in and doing all of the work and doing all of then yes,
Yeah.
but that's not how that,
Oh, that's great,
yeah.
but,
I think for the other one, we would, like I said, we would have to do it, but I think you can argue that, that he's the expert. Any other folks who came in would have to show the same qualifications.
mhm. What do
It's,
I think we should go for option two.
the CPA also
I mean-
thought option two. In fact, they also brought up the chime. I don't know why the chime was that considered a nuisance, why that was disconnected, or why was the chime disconnected?
What?
The bell.
You'll have to speak
Why
more
was the
slowly.
chime disconnected?
Well, the bell, that system was with the original Clockworks, and they never did anything when they electrified the faces. They never did anything about that.
Okay, so there's actually, the mechanism that we would get has that sort of ability built into it, and there's an extra piece that they could do that could cause that, we could have that chime on the hour, we could set the hours that it chimed. So that is another, CPA actually asked me to follow up on that
Part,
as a
yeah.
potential piece of the project.
Now, would it,
Um,
you can set it so it does it during the day but not at night or something like
Yes,
that?
so you can set your hours,
Just
and
not
that is
chiming
recommended.
at 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
The, that clock striking fund that's in the town money, there's a small fund,
The ding-dong fund.
$1,500 or whatever.
yeah.
No,
I
it's
feel
grown, though.
I feel like that might be, a good thing for maintenance on the clock, cause I think it can be used generally, so I would set that up where it maintain the clock, because another thing is, that does need yearly maintenance, and
Oh, yeah.
we should be,
That
if we
was
put the money in, we need to take care of
That
it.
fund was established for putting in a striking mechanism. That's what that was
Okay.
for. And then after a while, it didn't get anything more, and nothing's been done with it since.
Yeah.
But it's in the assets list that the accountant, it's in the accountant's report every year, the balance in it.
Okay. What I have here is each dial has a sealed low voltage motor controlled electronically, no shafts between faces. Automatic time correction, after any power outage or manual stop, the controller resets the hands automatically. I don't know how it does that, but it does do that, so if the power went out, it would reset them.
It keeps it going.
Yeah,
Probably got a computer thing in it.
yeah, but it's not connected to any, like,
No.
outside, Wi-Fi or anything like
Oh.
that is necessary.
Yeah.
It is independent.
Yeah.
Um, So, yeah, I mean, that's sort of what I came up with.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. I really would support option 2, and then whatever, the thing is, the cost between the two is, if you were to want option 2
Later.
benefits later,
It's probably 10 to 15% more
Yeah.
if you were to do it
Yeah.
later.
It's just, it makes more sense to do it all together.
yeah.
I did, because in the State House, we were always faster if we got the letter of support. I did put together a letter of support that you can alter if you want, but I do have this. And I can send that to you, June, if you want to make edits or.
I think it's fine the way it is. I think we could,
I don't have any problems with it.
no. It's-
I don't think there's any problem with it.
No, I think we should just sign it. Give it back to Lisa.
What?
Let's vote.
I move to sign the
Support
letter
the
of
proposal.
support.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimously approved. Okay. Thanks for all your work.
You're
Boy.
welcome. This is actually on the grand scale of projects that I end up having to do. This one's fun. Like,
Yeah, because
this is a
Exactly.
really,
it's
really
gonna be
cool
visible,
thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Well, if you decide not to tear your hair out and you just go ahead with it, it works.
Yeah, this is, it's so, we have, you know, working on the board house and having nothing visible except a septic tank cover in the backyard. I mean, it's so,
That's
Well,
demoralizing.
it's demoralizing when all of the projects seem to require so much effort just to get them
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah.
But CPA is a world of difference from what it was before you had that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now we at
There
least
are-
have
There's
the-
funding there, and if people can decide to get behind something, it's that easy.
Yeah, I think people will really respond to this, because they,
The only concern I would have would be the chime, because sometimes neighbors are not super excited about that, but
well, we could certainly reach out to Jane, who is
Jane Sawyer.
Jane Sawyer, who is a director for the society, and
For what?
to see if the chime is a nuisance to them, too.
Oh,
And,
yeah, sometimes neighbors aren't really excited to have it back
Yeah.
on, but I don't know that
When-
that's a huge problem.
when the previous proposal was active and doing something about it, Jane's father, there was a question about whether they wanted, 24-hour chiming or
12
silencing in the evening, and his comment was, "I rather like it is with 24-hour silencing."
Yeah, there's always one, right?
she'll remember, maybe she'll remember that, but she, well, the people that we could ask, we know the Von Gelderns, and we know Faith and her family.
Yeah.
We know
Jane.
Mike Sawyer. And who else? The
Oh,
parsonage.
I don't think he's got anything there now.
The parsonage is empty
Oh,
right
Jane-
now.
Oh, who?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Jay. It's Jay Teach, yeah.
Yeah, Jay bought
Owns-
that house.
Owns the,
Yeah.
and 19 Carter certainly is not going to object.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, and the other thing, just forgot to tell you, because I'm pretty sure that you would want the mechanical chime. There is an option where you could do the electronic chime, and you can set the volume on that. But my assumption is because the bell is up there,
Yeah.
and because that sound is so much
Yeah.
nicer,
Yeah,
that we would want to go with
Authentic,
the
too.
mechanical. It would be more
Yeah.
historically accurate.
Yep.
So,
yep.
but that
Yeah,
option
we'd want
does
to talk
exist.
to them about how it deals with the bell.
Yeah, it's basically a little arm
A striker.
Oh,
that
yeah,
strikes.
but it has to be out of the way on the side because we do swing the bell.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, for the passing bell.
No, the passing bell doesn't swing, but we peel the bell on Sunday morning regularly.
Oh,
Okay.
There's two ways. You can strike the clapper against the bell, or you can swing the bell.
yeah, with the rope.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. I can let
Yeah.
the lady
But
know
we do
that
swing
it-
the bell. The
swing
original,
the bell.
as a matter of fact, the thing that struck the bell is still up there. That's one of the things that didn't go when they took the works, but, that was on the side of, so that the bell would swing by it when it wasn't happening. But that's, I don't know. See what
Yeah, I don't
people
know.
think.
I'm assuming that is something that they have dealt with before. I don't.
Oh,
I
they
feel
probably
like
have,
that would
they
be-
should have.
Yeah,
Because
but I
other,
will. That is an important
Yeah.
piece of information.
should
other
have.
meeting houses would have.
But we do swing the bell, so they need to be aware of that.
Okay, and then the other thing, like, if we go forward with this piece, we would need to they need to know what it takes to,
What?
there's, I think it's what it takes to actually make the bell
Ring.
ding, yeah. What
You mean with the rope?
or the
No.
clapper or something, there's a, like, stress test or something
Oh,
as to how much
Oh.
it takes to,
Yeah.
and that, there's a different thing they put in depending on how much
Well, it
effort
depends on how
takes to dig
how
it.
their system works, yeah.
Yeah.
and what they need to do. But that,
I actually have a
That's
picture
easy.
of the,
See, that's what their expertise is.
they probably would go up there and simply test it with something.
yeah, I think they tell us how to test it. One more thing, I will show you. I have a picture of the mechanism, but it's in my other email.
See, this is the front side, and see, that's where the window was.
Yep.
Where the window was, it was in the front side of it. So you could, the other sides don't have that because they didn't have an opening before 1882.
Now, is that when they arched the ceiling?
No, that was in the tower. It was up in the tower.
No,
above.
but I'm saying 1882, is that around when they arched the ceiling rather than?
Oh, no, the ceiling was done in 1860.
Uh,
This was completely
later.
separate. Yeah. The clock didn't come till later in this building.
I think it's interesting that the church has been modified over the years as things have changed and they've
Oh, yeah.
needed the building to be different.
Yeah,
Isn't that what people do?
yeah.
Some people do and some people tear down.
Yeah.
We're lucky that we still have a few things. Progress passed us by.
Actuator.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did the same thing when I saw it, I'm like, huh,
How,
that's kinda cool, did you see?
yeah,
Oh, did it? Yeah.
there we go. Hammer action.
But the bell does belong to the church, so that's something that the church has to be
Okay,
dealing with. But that, you
Yeah.
know, it's been done before. I don't know that it should be an issue.
Wow.
it's very clever,
Yeah,
alright.
technology, yeah, everything is out there for us, we just have to.
So if you have any questions, other than that, just let me know, send me an email, you know where to find me,
Yep.
Thank
and I
you.
will keep plugging away.
I
Thank
think it's
you.
exciting to
Yeah.
have someone supporting
Also, it's-
restoration of the town center and maintaining it as it is.
And we don't have any other historical asks this time.
We don't have one up this time.
No.
We're still spending the last one.
Yeah, well,
Trying to.
Yeah.
The Bullard House, the gift that keeps on giving.
well,
Oh, my
our
gosh.
clothing
The
assessment
clothing thing is,
Still going?
is a huge amount of work, but it's going great.
You lucked out getting Lynn Bassett.
Yes.
You were very
If
fortunate
you
to
have any
find her.
pictures of that process, I'd love
Yep,
to like
there's
have
a
them
dis-
put up on the town website.
Sure,
or-
there's
or
a,
on the,
there's a display
Facebook page.
at 19 Carter in my little cabinet that the history in the cabinet, but but you need electronic copies and we can send those to you. Yeah,
Yeah,
let me write
I'd
that
love to.
down.
Yeah.
I don't forget.
yeah.
Let's show people your wins.
Yeah, because she is really, well, I didn't have any trouble finding her because I'm connected with the New England Quilt Museum. And I just sent them an email and they knew exactly who to refer me to.
She's been consulting with them for some time.
I
Yeah.
love that place. I used to take Piper there every couple months, and we would do a scavenger hunt through the quilts and the.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that, it's, I mean, you wouldn't you wouldn't have had to have any reason to look at her resume, but it's incredible. I mean, she's been at this for how many years?
Just about 40.
Just about 40 years, yeah, she's in her early 60s, I think. And,
She's amazing.
yeah, it's
This
fun.
week-
I don't, clothing never really was my thing, but I wanted to get behind this because we have so much of it, and that's not uncommon for historical collections. People donate clothing more than they do any other one thing.
Interesting.
Well,
Yeah. Maybe not for us, but our clothing
Paper.
collection is huge.
Our clothing collection
In
is
terms of
huge.
volume.
But part of the reason for that is that we've had those big clothing shows, and when those happen,
People
that
get-
makes people think about doing that.
Yeah.
And that is part of the reason why it's so big. They've had those successful shows that had, 60 people, 80 people, 90 people, whatever, come to them, and then there's more talk about it, and
Well,
we're
yeah.
more likely to get the stuff.
And there's quite a good-sized audience that appreciates that,
Oh, yeah.
rather than the more esoteric things. Fashion is, is,
Clothing is very important to a lot of people, and there are a
Yeah.
lot of people that are interested in that aren't interested
In the rest of what
historical
we
stuff
have.
much otherwise.
so we have to capitalize on it. But we have an amazing collection.
This week,
I mean, I think she would testify to that.
yesterday, we had a small, a child's dress, orange, which came out of a family, and they said this was worn by a male family member in the 19th century. They didn't know who. And we put that in front of her, and she said, "Oh yeah, orange. They often dress boys in orange."
Interesting.
And
Who
you
would
just
know
kind of
that?
go, who would
besides
know
an
that one?
expert, we really.
And we've got that best dress thing that we had, it's out of Janet Estabrook stuff, I think. And we looked at that some time ago, but we didn't bring that. I may pull that one back out in light of this one and see whether, because the colors are in that realm, let's say.
Oh,
Maybe not as orange as I was remembering, but I'm gonna,
remember.
try that out and see whether she
Yeah,
thinks that has
compare,
anything to do with
yeah.
that.
we only have about
Is it
5 more times.
Is it 5?
4 or 5 more times with her.
Is that gonna be enough, or?
Well, it
We
won't.
had to keep it under $10,000, so we didn't.
So we didn't have to go to bid.
Because we really wanted her.
Yeah,
Well, it was after the
There
fact.
is a way, like I said, with, she is the expert, so what you can do is anybody who responds, you can line them up, and their qualifications have to meet
They have to
or
be able to
exceed
qualify,
hers.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that she is such an expert, they would have trouble meeting or exceeding, which would
Yeah.
allow you to then choose her
Choose
even
her
if it was
anyway,
over 10.
yeah.
So for future, keep that sort of in the back of your head.
I will, if I get an opportunity to.
Yeah. And you really just have to send out, like, you need to get 2 more or ask for 2 more. You might not even get them.
You
just
might
have
not
to
even get
ask
them.
for them.
Yeah.
That was the thing,
That's
was
right.
that she comes all the way from Palmer, which is in Western Mass.
Yeah.
One of the things that we had before Margaret came aboard, we had a request for proposal, whatever, that, for renovations to the Bullet House, and we got no takers. All the local contractors that would be the kind of people we generally hire didn't want to deal with the procurement stuff with the state, all the rules and all that. But Margaret, when Margaret was here later, she said, "Oh, well, if you have that happen and nobody comes forward, then you can start dealing with somebody and making a way to make it
Yeah.
work."
There are ways, if you can.
And we
if
didn't,
you
we
can't
just
go
didn't have the
through
background for
program.
how to get around that when you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Another way, just to plant a seed, another way to go around is while you can't digitize documents
Yeah.
through a CPA funds,
yeah,
you can do a project where you are restoring them that just happens to include that
Digitization.
piece of it.
yeah,
So that's another thing to sort of keep in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Because I was not aware of that, and I was like, that is an area where it would be wonderful to have things digitized.
oh, yeah.
I really,
So
you
you
know,
just have to put those projects together, and it's something that a lot of the restorers just do as part of the project.
yeah,
So keep that in the back of
If
your
you
head.
make it a
That's
minor
huge
part of
money.
the project,
But
but that's
Go
a way,
around.
but if you,
rather
Yeah.
than through.
yeah, but if you need restoration, then,
but you could also have another source for some of the money that would take care of that part of it too.
yeah,
At any rate, that's good.
yeah, that is good.
Okay.
All right.
So if this once gets done, we don't have to worry about setting the clock every time the power goes out.
Yeah, because who's gonna do that?
That's interesting.
Okay. So we can go along to minutes. Now,
We have two sets?
yep, Ellie has sent us, have you had a chance to read the minutes?
I don't know, let me look at them. See if
The December 1st was very short,
Yeah,
Oh, we-
oh, December 1st, yeah, that was a
and
special,
then the other, the regular meeting.
yeah. Yeah,
I thought you did a good job with the December 1 minutes.
yeah,
Well, they're pretty short.
Yeah, well, I mean, to summarize what was discussed.
yeah, there was a lot of stuff on it.
Here,
You want this one, this is the one
that
that
one's
we,
fine with me,
this is the one where we met with the select board.
that's right.
Do you wanna take them up together, or?
I think so. I just had
Yeah,
there's
there's something
something I
to
wanted to
fix.
say about. I think in number 7, 3 items were raised regarding scheduled and ongoing prospective demolition projects, but there's only one of them that's really demolition. And that's
Oh.
136, and that's
The-
Central
the-
Street.
The Central Street.
The others are, one is the approval of the Housing Trust
Yeah,
acquiring
Oh,
the,
yeah,
so you might want to change the wording.
yeah, I mean, this one's a demolition, but that's already been approved anyway. I mean, there's no
yeah,
action.
that's why I said scheduled and ongoing prospective.
Oh. But the other two aren't demos.
Aren't
aren't
demolition.
demos.
I can fix that.
Yeah, you can fix that.
Just amend it to have the West School and the town, well, we don't know about the town highway barn.
Other preservation projects, or preservation
Town, town
concerns,
structure.
concerns, yeah.
Town, what is it, okay. Preservation issues. I'll figure it out.
And number 8, the commission received notice from the select board that all remaining historical collection items in the old fire station must be removed. Ms. Miller and Mr. Ager noted that all accessioned items in the collection have already been removed from the fire station. And that's true. There is one door with a tag on it, but
There are a
it-
few other things left there, but.
but
there's-
there are doors left that, when we communicated with Chief McQuillan, we said we would try to schedule removal of those.
Yeah, when you and Marty and I went the last time and we
Yeah.
took out some trash, there was a lot of stuff that belonged to other,
Yeah,
The
I
Lions
actually
Club and-
wrote a letter to Kristen that you two have not seen, but were aware of. And, I itemized everything that we witnessed there.
Well, what this says is fine.
Okay,
What this says
Okay.
is fine.
I
It
was
says
just,
it includes things from other departments.
Yeah.
there's
And-
the library desk,
Yeah, yeah.
there's the
Well,
weights
that's
and
all right.
measures cabinets.
yeah,
And
And
I
then there's
also
the
wonder
Lions Club.
about the the amount of money they had for cleaning the place out. I'm wondering whether that included things like 2 heating furnaces and some other things like that.
I don't,
I have no idea. To me, the amount of money that was involved didn't make any sense at all for the stuff that's ours, or that we've had to do with.
I believe that the thought was that the contractor really didn't wanna do it and provided a number.
Oh,
That was crazy.
That was
Yeah.
yeah,
indicative
oh,
of
okay.
that was the theory
Yeah.
on that number.
How do we make this idea go away?
Yeah, I think that's what that was.
That could be too.
Because we took out a bunch of stuff that I took to the dump
yeah, we
already.
took some ragtail pieces of wood and,
Yeah,
I don't know what else.
I don't know, we filled up the back of the
A little
truck.
tiny billiard table.
I think that was from the Boy Scouts.
Yeah,
no,
well,
no, that was ours.
Was it?
yeah, it's gone
That came
now.
in from Sawyer's, and when I suggested this was questionable to keep, Elaine Wickstrom said, "Oh, no, we should keep that."
Oh,
Well, people
Almost
have their
anything you
hobby
said, she'd
horses,
say
you know.
something else.
Well, it's gone.
it's gone.
It's gone to the take it or leave it.
Oh, that was still there?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It's gone, and,
I,
yeah.
I,
I actually washed the sheet and I put it in the,
oh, you did?
yeah.
Oh,
It
how
it was still
nice.
fine, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I
Yeah.
can wash that.
Yeah.
I move
repurpose.
to approve both sets of minutes with the one change that we talked about.
Okay. Second,
Oh, second.
and all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, unanimously approved minutes for November 14th and minutes for December 1 with amendments with an amendment for the 14th,
For the 14th,
for
the
the
meeting.
November 14th, yeah. Okay, I had an email from Beth Stores, who is part of the Housing Trust, and she would like to talk to me and anybody else, actually, on the commission about the history of the building, of the West School. And
Barry's
this
the one
is,
who
this
said-
is to inform a preservation restriction, the writing of
Okay.
that. So she told me when she was, she gave me some times that she's available, and the only time I can really do it is Monday at 11. And I wanted to know if you could be there also. Ellie is certainly welcome.
I have PT,
Do you have what?
physical therapy on my
Oh.
foot.
Yeah, I think so. This coming Monday at 11?
Yeah, at 11, so I can get back to her and, do you want to meet in the curatorial building?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go to 19 Carter?
Why would we go there?
Because it's nice there, and the curatorial building is,
If we want to do history and have documents
I
and
agree.
information handy,
yes, we
Then we should
need,
go
we
there.
need to be in the curatorial building. The other,
11,
there's no coffee there, and there shouldn't be, because it's,
You don't want food
you
in
don't
there.
want
food in there
or
anyway.
You don't
I don't
want
even
mice.
take water in there, yeah. Well, we have, what are those little bugs? Those little, ladybug, they're not
Oh,
ladybugs,
Yeah, they're,
little beetles.
yeah.
beetles, yeah. We,
But they're like ladybugs, and they come seasonally, and
they go away.
they go away.
Well, I had
mostly.
Marty scoop them up with a vacuum,
Well,
most of them.
yeah. Sometimes
We had a
they-
lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have them in the meeting house all the time. I mean, seasonally, once or twice a year when they're migrating or something, they show up there. They like white buildings. And as I say, they come and go. Some of them will die there, but they come and go, and when they're in season, they're just around. I'm surprised they get in that place, though. That building is so new and tight, but they
I
do.
don't know. Well, they come in the doorway somehow because that's where they cluster. So, whatever. All right, so I'll try to remind you if you want,
Yeah,
if
and
you
I'll
want a
try,
reminder.
I'll
I have, you know,
gather something on it.
yeah, I also have a lot of material at 19 Carter because of that session we did on the schools.
Oh,
Remember? You came. usually nobody else comes from the commission, but one, because I feel like if I ask Barry, he already has too much to do, right? But sometimes I ask him anyway, because I need him. Okay. The clothing assessment, I think we've just talked about that, but there is an issue. Maybe you can speak to it, Ellie. I got an email from Maureen,
Yeah,
and I took it very literally, and perhaps I shouldn't have. But she's saying she's saying that the proposal doesn't cover archival supplies. Well, she's already signed off on $1,400 worth of archival supplies, and we've paid.
yeah, unfortunately, I didn't make that meeting. And we should have one on Tuesday, but then she said, well, maybe it's going to be canceled. She sent me the write-up, which is the same as you, and I think it said,
She wanted to limit it based on what was in the article in the town meeting that was voted.
yes.
But my suggestion is go back and look at the original proposal. Very often, all of the details of the proposal are not in the,
Yeah, it said
the
it was
town meeting vote.
determined that the warrant article was very specific on the use of the funds, quote, for the engagement of a consultant for professional guidance to inform the accessioning and the deaccessioning of the town's historical collection of historical clothing. I think that we had broken out the pieces in the proposal to hiring the person and for archival supplies and then for
Contingency.
the contingent.
expenses, yeah.
So I think that 11,500, whatever it was very specific to hiring a person.
Yeah,
And I think that's how it was interpreted when the committee reviewed it.
So the issue is that the $1,300
that we
will
couldn't hire
have to
her
be,
for.
will have to be returned,
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
because I don't think they'll authorize any other use of it.
No, because it looks like they're saying that specific amount was approved for hiring a person, as
Yeah.
opposed to the 900 or 1,400 for archival supplies and then the additional 900 for contingency. And I think that's what they said. The contingency we can use for archival supplies because that didn't have any constraints on it.
yeah,
But that 11,000 had a constraint and it was specifically for hiring a
for
person.
hiring the person.
All right, well, that's fine with me. I mean,
And you use the 900, right?
yeah. Well, we haven't got everything yet, so we don't
But we-
actually have an invoice from Gaylord, but on Saturday, we should have the third of shipment, and right now,
The order was placed and some of the stuff has come in.
But you've
already.
used just about everything that we had bought
yeah,
before.
there's
Yeah.
probably about maybe $25 left between the contingency. There's probably $3 left in the contingency, and there's maybe $25 or so in the
The-
actual
the
1,400.
1,400.
Yeah, yeah. And, it won't be enough.
Okay,
but
no,
that's-
that money was specifically for hiring her, so therefore,
So if that's
I
what she
understand
meant.
that, that's
but-
okay.
But what she wrote was not
Yeah,
helpful. And I took it literally and was a little upset. But I do understand that it can't, if you want to be faithful to the wording of the proposal.
when I was reading that, I was thinking, we tried to be very specific, and if we had been less specific, maybe it would have,
Yeah, that's a lesson I'll have to learn.
yeah.
If I'm
But
still
I think
on
if
my
you
2
want
feet.
to get things approved, and you do need to be specific because people want to understand how you're going to spend the money, rather than saying, oh, well, we have a project.
Yeah,
Well, we could have used that time. At this point, I'm convinced we've got plenty of stuff still to go through, and I've really gotten so I'm passing some things that I think we know enough about,
And picking the
and,
stuff that we
and,
really,
and moving stuff that we need to learn more about, so that we are using her time the best way we can. But, yeah, there's so much stuff.
okay, so, the only thing I would add is that when we meet with her this Thursday coming,
Yeah,
we need to decide when in January
yeah,
we want to open the meeting up to whoever would like to come and see what we're doing and hear her. And I want to nail that down so that I can ask Sandra for the use of Barnes Hall and.
so we can spread out stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
and
we'll.
so that people will be able to come if they're free on a Thursday.
Yeah.
You know, some people are not,
Well,
but that's the
this
day
was
she
one of
comes.
the community outreach aspects of the thing that we wanted to do, was to,
Yeah,
so that more people would be knowledgeable about what the project was, and secondly, to excite interest in it, that might bring us some new volunteers. One thing that's important to mention here is that we've had 3 and 4 volunteers, 4 and 5 of us, some of us, but we've had at least 3 other volunteers working, two of whom are now senior work-off people. And,
yeah, Jillian is,
and then
From-
Jillian is another volunteer that's
She's
been
from the
coming in,
Quilt
she's been
Museum.
helping us with the writing.
yeah,
So, you know, that, it means we've got more labor going into it that supports the project, that isn't costing us money.
well, especially yours. I mean, you're spending almost 2 days a
Oh,
week.
yeah, yeah, and Karen,
And Karen too.
yeah. We're doing 3 hours on Wednesdays, and then we're doing,
oh, there's
All
this-
the
day.
whole day on Thursdays.
Whole day.
And so when it comes to the week of this meeting too, I
Yeah.
often am not thinking about another day of it
Yeah.
for this week.
Yeah, I know. Well, I forgot myself. Okay. So the old Red Fire Station, I think we've gone over that, and it may be that.
No, we meet
We'll,
tomorrow.
well, Lisa's gonna, try to, reach the chief, because I've been unable to. And if the chief can't, help us out with letting us in, then, we'll have Fred.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just those doors.
And so, what time did you want?
Well, it's up to the chief or Fred.
Fred.
It's up to them, yeah.
I'll accommodate, and,
Are you guys free all day on Saturday? If
we
I
can
get-
be, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So I will tell them and we'll let them,
yeah,
because we're good all day.
yeah, that'd be good. Okay,
Because I was thinking when you originally proposed 3 o'clock, that, the dump
I got
closes at
mixed up.
4,
yeah,
and that doesn't give us a lot of time.
yeah. I got mixed up because that was a constraint on the 20th for,
Okay.
for Tim and
Yeah,
Lisa.
I don't, it doesn't sound like I'm gonna have my truck back until
And
late
who kno-
next week,
But
so I don't know.
we have the truck, so.
We could make a
could
couple
just
of trips
make a couple
maybe.
trips if we need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was thinking if we met at 3, that's not gonna give us a lot of time.
Yeah, I
it-
know, just because we have to load and then,
Yeah, so I'll shoot for
Yeah.
earlier if we
Yeah.
can get it.
also,
It's cold, and it gets dark.
yeah. That's true,
Well,
yeah.
that's one of the things, it's dark,
11 in the morning is far more friendly.
yeah.
I'm actually seeing Margaret, the previous town administrator, we're having lunch on the
Oh, that's
20th.
nice.
So
Oh,
that is
nice.
my
Oh,
engagement on the 20th, and it's right
Wow.
in the middle of the day, so that was the,
Yeah, when I was, well, I guess this would be under the next thing, which was to talk a bit about our select board meeting. I wrote to Scott and told him I would put together the expenditures, the Bullard House expenditures from at least my time as chair,
Yep.
which would be the beginning of July 22. No, fiscal year 22, because it was July 21. So it's about almost 5 years. Anyway, I have a copy of that, or part of it anyway. And he came, I asked him if he could come right after our open hours.
Yeah,
Which is,
and he did,
which are 2 to 4 on
yeah, yesterday.
yesterday, and we had a nice meeting with him, and he took my little packet. And I think I mentioned to Lisa before the meeting that we still have about 150 to 160,000 that we have not spent.
Mhm.
And the only visible progress we can point to is our lovely septic,
Which we hadn't planned.
which we hadn't planned anyway. And so it was good to talk to him, and you know, he has a personal interest that helps, yeah. So other than that, our minutes reflect our assessment of the meeting, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything else?
No, except that I think that, and I said this to Barry, that I think it's important for us to try to maintain the center of town as I think we're very fortunate to have a
What we
town center that hasn't been damaged by major roads or a lot of 20th century gluck.
Yeah, it's an amazing resource, and eligible, should we get there someday, it's eligible for national.
Oh, we're at
Historic
National
Dis-
Register and all
Yeah,
that,
I mean, we did that eligibility
Yeah.
in 2009, and we have a few changes, but it's still,
It's amazingly
Yeah.
well preserved.
yeah,
And I think that we, as the town historical board, needs to think about
Yeah.
our efforts to maintain it. And I think the 1870 town hall and the Bullitt House are right there as people drive in.
yeah.
They're very visible.
Well, and it's not, I mean, the talk about separating things and stuff, it's not sensibly separable.
Not anymore.
Because with the changes that have taken place there, the Bullitt House would be left on a postage stamp.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, the town hall elevator sits on Bullitt House land. The
curatorial
town is
building.
never gonna give up the driveway in order to, to transfer that with the Bullitt House. I mean, they're not gonna do that, because we need it for the town hall. I think that the thing from the meeting that I picked up most is the issues about management of these buildings and management of structures in the town government, under the town government, that are really reaching out to broader community use. And the town hall had better use before the pandemic, much better use than it's getting now. And it took a lot of promotion to get that happening. And that kind of promotion is not something that's typical for town government to do. So I think that's one of the issues that comes up, is how do we manage buildings like this and that kind of a use. And I think one of the things that we should be doing is reaching out and looking at other towns, what's happening. I was in Tingsboro recently, up by the New Hampshire border, and looking at things, and then I went on websites and looked at things. They've got a historic town hall, which they use as a function place like we do.
Owned by the town.
Yeah, owned by the town, and they, they let it for functions and stuff. They've built a new office building elsewhere in the town, out of the village. But the other thing is that they've taken on a historic meeting house that's there. I don't know what it used to be. I think it might have been Unitarian, because there's a congregational church that's still alive and operating nearby, from the Victorian period. But there's like an 1820 to 30 meeting house there that they've just done a bunch of renovation on, spent a lot of money on, and that's to be let for public events and stuff too. And so my curiosity is, okay, how do you folks manage this? Talk to somebody there and find out how they manage it, or how they plan to manage it, because they're gonna have two buildings right side by side that are essentially competing with each other for some uses like that. And it occurred to me that some kind of a management plan that might involve volunteers, or might involve, a special committee or something or other, that a different way to manage things than we
Especially the
currently have done so
volunteers.
far. Yeah,
Especially the volunteers,
Yeah.
because Kristen informed me that when we did a cleanup behind the Bullard House, just, the foliage, the overgrown foliage, that we could not use power equipment.
Yeah.
That means you can't use a chainsaw,
Or
or
a
I don't know, maybe you
lawnmower.
can't even use a lawnmower, I don't know.
I don't know, it's probably worth looking closer at the liability, but I'm sure that's what it is. Volunteers are covered to a point. I'm not sure what that point is, because that's not something I personally have.
well, I think it's an
looked
insurance
at,
question.
but it would be, it would be the liability if someone did get hurt, and,
Yeah.
you can go a long time with nobody getting hurt, but then it happens and they can
And
sue
they
the
might-
town, and
Yeah, it only takes one.
it only takes one.
But if you can't, I guess my point is, if these buildings remain town-owned, the constraints on volunteers are much greater. And, I was a director of 19 Carter for 15 years. If we didn't have volunteers,
We'd have nothing.
that building wouldn't be there. So, I'm just putting it out there.
Well, there's another question though, and maybe we should talk to Evie about it. What do they do insurance-wise to cover volunteers?
Well, I don't know right now, because I'm not a director, but I do know we had liability insurance for us as a body, a
Yeah.
directing body. And
It's possible.
Well, officers
the
and-
folks
you
who are
had officers,
volunteering
directors
had their
insurance.
own insurance too, like when I think of some of those folks, they were already contractors before and they were giving their time, so they might have had their own policies because they were
Yeah.
licensed.
But there's plenty of people who volunteer there. We're talking over 50 people who volunteer there who are not contractors.
Yeah,
And they don't do dangerous things, but
but some of them do the maintenance and the snow shoveling and
Yeah.
various other
Yeah.
things like that,
Yeah.
that could involve some liability.
so that's I'll ask her.
Yeah, I think we have to, I think what I'm getting at is, I think we need to be a little bit proactive in terms of researching and figuring out how some other people handle similar situations. And so that we can bring suggestions like that back to the select board. I'm more than aware that the way that town government is set up is not geared to selling something to the public that's not part of government, sort of. But on the other hand, if we want these things to be successful and to at least produce a significant part of the income needed
As I
to
say,
take care of them and so forth.
They need to be somewhat self-supporting
Yeah.
to maintain them. I think that's been a lot of the problems historically, is that
Yeah.
they're not well maintained, and then when we have
Oh.
a major issue, they're
That's what
very
Lisa said at the
expensive.
meeting, yeah, yeah.
Well, the town hall, in the years that we had the town government there, was very poorly maintained much of its life.
It was trashed.
And one of the big projects that they did when Walter Bickford was playing in the building was they straightened out the piping in the steam heating system. It was leaking, it was rotting out parts of the building, it was very inefficient and not, parts of it didn't work right at all. But the select board, unless they got, what they do typically is appropriate some money in town meeting for town hall repairs, and when that was spent, then they wouldn't do anything more for X years. And it was, because they had all their other town government functions to carry on. So they didn't take good care of the building. It was in pretty poor shape when it was taken over by, after town government moved out. And through a lot of volunteer efforts, it was, brought up to snuff.
No, but I
And
was-
some expenditure of the town. I mean,
But
we
you know,
spent money on it
I was
too.
thinking about it, because someone had mentioned like a property manager, and I thought, well, the church has a property committee that's,
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
town needs to have something
That's
like
right.
that, where their function is to kind of oversee not just the historic building, but all of the buildings, all of the municipally owned
well,
buildings.
that's part of what they've done with the, lumping it with the highway, care of the buildings with the highway. But I think that it still needs some people, and again, some volunteers that can help with legwork and so forth to
Yeah.
help those things work better. But I think we need to look into what we could do that way and talk to people, talk to Fred and others about it, and see what we could do to spin off some of the efforts that are needed to make things work. Because I think that without that, I can see, there's certainly some opinion on the board that says we shouldn't even be trying to do this.
Because we know that the Boyd House, just by its very nature, is going to be a time suck
Oh, yeah.
in terms of keeping it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
It's old and it's cranky and it's as Barry said, it was built on the cheap and maintained on the cheap.
Cheap,
And
oh, yeah.
it's just not as solid as,
well, it's not new construction. I mean, that's what people want.
In a lot of ways, it's in better shape now than it was. Certainly is in better shape than when we got it,
Oh, yeah.
even though has all the problems it's still got. We've made a lot of improvements, but we need to get back to making some of those happen. What has happened with the Bullard House project is that we got the CPA money, and a lot of it was related to foundation, and we haven't found the right solution for that yet. We've got some of it, and we've also had some subsidiary projects that we wanted to do before we did the major foundation job. And we need to see what we can do to move on some of that, to make that happen. But that was, when we get that part of it accomplished, then we can go back to some of the things we did with the Historical Society, helping to finance projects and work, and also volunteer work. Because we've had volunteer painting and wallpapering and things like that, and patching plaster. And those are things that we can continue to do with volunteers once we get over the hump, so to speak. One of the things I will say about the building study and the estimated money that's needed for this, remember, they're planning on hiring contractors to do all of that work. And patching plaster and hanging wallpaper and painting and all those things are important jobs and big jobs, but they are doable by volunteers. And we never expected to spend big money on that part of the work, even though structural things and so forth, we often do have to. So, to some extent, the numbers that are in that are not numbers that anybody ever anticipated spending because we had other ways to handle some of it.
Well, there's,
The town hall numbers, one of the things in the town hall thing is a sprinkler system. And while it would be a lovely thing to have for an old wooden building like that, nobody's ever really been talking the town, pressing the town that we need to put that in. We need to spend that big chunk of money. So, I mean, to some extent, and then another one of the things that's in there is completely replacement of all the clapboards on the building, in the town hall. And I said, I don't see that most people would think that was necessary. You do some patching and replacement, but mostly what you need to do is paint it again. I mean, do a good paint job again and keeping it maintained. But ideas like replacing all the clapboards, there's an expensive project that probably most of us don't see as something that's needed. And, but it's in the list, and that's why it's $1 million and more that they see the building needs.
okay, I've written down some of your, the
Yeah.
outreach and getting more information on how other towns
Yeah,
have
see what other
managed.
towns are doing that might have similar situations, and how they've made it work.
Okay, I did give Amy our budget paperwork today,
Okay.
because today's the last day, and we voted the
Level
the
funding.
level funding, which is
Yep.
what we were allowed to do. And I don't have anything else. But I do need clarification on Maureen's statement, because we are going to have a $900 invoice from Gaylord very shortly, and she needs to,
Well, but she's interpreting what the commission said. She wasn't the decision maker.
right, but
So I think she's just communicating, and I can clarify that on
yeah,
Tuesday.
if you would, so that I'm clear.
Yeah, I think what she was talking about was the specific,
1,300, yeah.
yeah, that went with the 11,000 for the hiring of a body, an expert.
Yeah. But I need someone to tell me that, and you're telling me that is fine.
Well, the money that we have already spent, or that invoice, is the contingency money.
That's right.
Yeah, which they already
And that's
said
not-
was going to be okay.
That may not be at all the same reaction that she got to the idea of what do we do with the money that was supposed to go for the person? So,
Yep, I
I
get
think
it.
you've got that, I think you've got the right idea about that.
I've got it. Okay. Does anybody want copies of what I gave Scott? You had a chance to look at it, but Ellie, perhaps that should be
Okay.
emailed to you, or do you want to print?
You can email it to me.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
It's-
it was more about how we've actually spent money and so forth.
yeah. And it's a photocopy of the financial report that we've had ongoing, and the accountant's report for those two articles. So
Okay.
somehow, I'm not sure, I guess I'll have to, my scanner doesn't work. So I don't know how I can scan June's thing, but I'll get my daughter to help me when she lands one of these days, yeah. Okay, so we
You
have,
can do things like put it in the copy machine and make a copy.
yes, but she would like it.
Oh, but you
That
can
would
do
work.
that
You
too.
want a print copy?
That's
That would
fine.
work.
Yeah.
That's
If
fine.
you have a cell phone, you can use the Notes app to scan also.
Oh,
Do you take
I'll
a
try it.
photo? You
Yeah.
take a photo and then,
There's an actual.
oh, yeah, I've
And
done
then
that
send it to
before.
me.
There's
When-
a scan in the Notes app.
All right, I'll try to
It doesn't
I'll
matter,
try to-
whichever way.
Yeah, whichever way, yeah, that's true, I could take it.
I think it's important that also that in regard to the Bullet House and money that's been spent, town money that's been spent, it's all been either mitigation funds, which we originally requested when they were negotiating those, or CPA funds. The only tax money that I know has been spent on renovation issues or improvements to the building was half of the cost of the oil tank that the selectmen.
Or the pad underneath.
Yeah, no, well, the oil tank, when we replaced the oil tank, we had a price for it. And Richard went to the board and got
Yeah.
them to pay half of the cost of the new oil tank. And the Historical Society paid the other half. But other than that, I don't think we've used town funds, I mean, regular town funds, for any of the renovation or improvements.
It's been for
Just CPA.
heating oil and
yeah.
electricity.
Yeah, just those maintenance items. The rest of it, it's all been mitigation funds or CPA funds that was town money.
But we haven't spent anything on heating oil for the last 2 years.
Well, 1
Year
year.
and a half.
We're hoping we will get it back out this year, because it's really suffering, and some of the paint is suffering in the building.
Yeah.
And I'd really like us to, if we had some basic heat in the place, we could be doing the windows. We could be taking out window sashes and going, cleaning them up and puttying them and painting them.
Some of them don't close tight anymore. They're kind of like,
Irregular.
Well,
gaps.
those are in the crooked places.
Yeah.
But
Those
those
are
are,
historic
most of those have been,
irregularities.
are better than they used to be.
the
and-
ones in the back,
Yeah.
in the entry room are
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But
Because they
the ones kind of
yeah.
upstairs and,
Yeah,
But I was, some time ago, I was doing that stuff in the wintertime. I'd go in and do some. And without any heat in the place, you can't do
I
that.
say, I was cleaning, but I haven't been lately because it's just too
Well,
cold.
you had your bunion.
Well, yeah, but now that I can walk more, it's just been too cold.
Yeah, it is, especially lately.
Yeah,
Okay, anything else?
Can we
Any
adjourn?
demolition
think so.
delay,
I
or
don't think so.
you haven't heard from,
I haven't
I
heard
haven't
anything.
heard from the Bairns lately, but,
No, but they're working on their building, but the building isn't closed in yet, so,
and they have to take out their stuff.
and they gotta move the stuff and all
I
that.
say that, I suspect that it'll all be done before apple season starts, but
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta wait and see.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
I
So-
move.
Second,
All those in favor? Aye.
11:30.